And I also heard Bob Costy's story from Judith that Bob had numbness in his feet and that this helped with that. And I thought, well, nothing helps with that. But I was so intrigued, I wanted to try the patches. So I tried them. I said, I'm involved in another business. I will never do anything else. But I couldn't get the patches out of my mind. And I tried them a couple more times. They always worked. And I was in a really bad accident a few years ago. My voice is different now because I was actually on a ventilator for 8 weeks and in a coma, I think 9 to 10 weeks of that time. And so that changed everything for me. I had to learn to walk again, talk again, do everything, write my name, speak, eat. I was told I would never eat again. So I'm really a success story in that I came back. But having been a nurse in my first career, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I saw with this company, why I feel it's so powerful, and some things that were lessons that I've learned over my 30 plus years in network marketing. Because I have done a lot of really great things, really smart things, and I've done a really lot of dumb things that I hope I can stop you from making some of the same mistakes. When I started, I was a young mom and I was a nurse. My specialties were emergency room and critical care. So an emergency room nurse, if you think about that, you're dealing with everything that comes through the doors. And critical care is the same. You go in and you're dealing with life and death situations every day. And so it's a very reactive kind of lifestyle. You're always reacting to what's coming in the door, what's in front of you, and you're working so hard to help people at some of the worst stages of their life. And so then I went through a bad stage. I was a very young mom. I married my high school sweetheart, went on to university as a married woman with a baby, because way back in those days, they came after 6 months. So that's just how technology worked back then. So I had this child, and she came to my university classes with me. We always joke she went to university twice, once with me, once on her own. And now my granddaughter is just in her third year at that same university, McMaster University, where I actually ended up teaching nursing. So I did all these things, but my husband died very young, very suddenly. In the morning he was there, in the afternoon he was gone. And so I had these four little children. The youngest was 6 weeks old. And so I wanted to be proactive in my own life, do something, but I also needed to, in those days, we called it work from home, because nobody thought of working remotely. Nobody thought of working from a beach or working from your cottage. I wanted to work at home so I could keep my thumb really on these four kids. And so I found my first business, and it was a wonderful experience. And I learned a lot. And it was a business famous for pink cars. And in those days, there weren't a lot of work from home businesses people could do. I had a great time. And that business was a business that was in my country of Canada, and basically in my province of Ontario. I had two teams, one where I lived in Carlisle, Ontario, and one in Peterborough. So I had two teams, and I worked that business. And then I evolved. Sometimes people change. If you think about 30 years of lifespan, people change. And I saw a new business, and the difference with it was my first business, the customers were mostly women. My second business, the customers were men and women. It was all natural products, and it was all in Canada. And I did very well in both of those businesses. The next business I found was men and women, but it was also opened in the United States. And it was a fun product that had a great natural background. So I went from this medical person to somebody who was my dad used to call me a tree hugger because back in the day I was a hippie, but it was natural and I really love to be involved with natural products. But it was in Canada and the United States. So men and women in Canada and the United States. And I just felt I had hit the jackpot. And that was the first company I had actually learned about having a willable business. In the other businesses was in, for the average person, you got to the very top, you could have that kind of business. But the average person doing business couldn't. And in the next business I was in, it was kind of men and women, Canada and the United States, which I love. This next company, they were in Europe. And I thought, well, I don't know anybody in Europe, but I didn't really know anybody in the United States except I have one sister. She was the only person I knew. And I grew up big business there. And so I'll have a big business in Europe. And I ended up being in 58 countries. And so I want people who are fearful to understand. And I have thousands and thousands of people. It's not who you know, it's who they know, and they know, and they know. It's like that old shampoo commercial. Do you remember? She tells two people and she tells two people. And that's how this kind of business works. You never get more time. You may get more people, but you never get more time. So you're always in charge of your own, you're a proactive person, you're in charge of your own destiny. But what you are in charge of is how do you look after all those people? And what you do is you're always teaching people to teach people. And there's always somebody there to help you. So when I first started, back in the 80s, there was a book written. It was called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And so that put a lot of people into a fear state. And by the 90s, I learned, I got a wonderful mentor, and I learned you don't feel the fear. You eliminate people's fears. You identify the fears and you eliminate them. And for many people, we're all people. We all have the same kinds of fears. And so if you can eliminate those fears before people even get involved, and then when they are involved, when they're brand new, they're like babies. They're new to this. They're not new to the world. They're new to this. They weren't born yesterday, but they're new maybe to network marketing. And then people maybe not didn't have never been working in different time zones, or they haven't been working with different languages, different nationalities, different people from different countries. So they have this thing, well, how could that ever happen for me? So I want to tell you, if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. And a saying that I've became quite famous for is I want you to all put up if you have one of these. I always say if you can press send, send. All you have to do is be able to press send. You can build a business all over the world. So how could that work? How can that work for people? And how can you eliminate fears for people you don't even know? Because all people are the same, basically. Doesn't matter. I've been all over the world. And the people that you're going to attract in the business are people like you. My daughter says, Mom, we're getting off the plane. Try not to talk to anybody in the airport. Can we just get our luggage and get to the car without you talking to anybody? I said, I promise I won't talk to anybody. So we get off and I saw this guy in this great Hawaiian shirt. I mean, I had to mention he had this great Hawaiian shirt in. So I had to talk to him. And then there was this guy selling timeshare. So I had to talk to him for a minute. My daughter, I thought was going to pull out her hair. She said, please, Mom. But that comes with experience. But I'll tell you what my secret is to talking to people. It's so simple. I smile. If they smile back, I talk to them. If they don't, I think be on your way. Because I really don't want to talk to people that don't want to smile. And people, often if you're wearing a smile, they'll smile back and they will start the conversation. So one of my things I always tell my leaders is smile. Janet's on this call. The first time I ever met her, we were in New York. We were working together. I'll share this real quick story because it's about the smile. I said to Janet, had a scowl on her face. She was going to go up and speak. Somebody said to me, she's your next leader in New York. I thought, no way, because she couldn't smile. I said to her, are you having a good time? She looked at me like, no. I said, you know, you're not going up on my stage with that face. You got to smile. And the meeting was already going downhill. And she got on that stage and she saved the day. And she was fabulous and she smiled. And she said, people don't talk to me that way. I said, they do now. And we were friends ever since. And that's a true story of how I met Janet Sheff. And I think that was a hotel across from Penn Station. And all the people had to leave on the 4 o'clock train. I mean, like, what if I just wasn't used to that because nobody ever left my meetings to catch a train before. But in New York, that's what they did. And the speaker I had on before her was from Kentucky, and she talked so slow. And the New York audience was falling asleep. And Janet got up there and talked fast, so fast I could hardly hear her. And the New York audience got it. She started off her talk and she said, hi, my name is Dr. Janet Sheff. I'm from the South too, South Bronx. And they all cheered the audience. And she saved my meeting. And we've been friends ever since that day. And that's how you meet people. There's not one person on this call that I would know if it wasn't for network marketing. Not one person. And everybody I've met is through network marketing. So it's a terrific vehicle. So how do you alleviate people's fears? Well, if somebody's a guest and they're looking at this, all guests have the same fears. Like, can I do this? I don't, I might want to watch buy the patches, but could I build a business? Like, I don't know if I want to build a business, but I might tell a few people, but I don't know. What if I can't do it? What if I make a fool of myself? Will I have help? I have been in a business where literally they said, here's your case, good luck, see ya. And that doesn't happen if you're in a good team. And want to let anybody who's looking at the business, let them know is you always have somebody to support you. That's what a team is. And if the person who sponsored you, if they leave and they decide they don't like the patches, there's always somebody that is more involved that will be there to help you. So you always have help. We teach you how to press send if you don't already know. And because we're in this era of technology, my very first business, my biggest two expenses were my phone bill and stamps, because I had to send a newsletter and I had to phone all over the place. And I was on the phone for hours and hours. And I had a car phone, one of those first car phones in my that pink car. And I had a car phone in, and cost a lot of money back then. And now we don't have any of those expenses because you can phone all over the world for free. You can message people. The company provides us with social media things so you can build on social media. So you can have a worldwide business because it is great to put the patch on right in front of somebody. But you can also do it over Zoom. We're all going to have a meeting tonight. We're all putting patches on. We've sent them all out to you. There's so many things you can do. When COVID was on, we had Jingo Zoom calls, and we all got in and played bingo, called it Zingo, and we all invited guests, and we all brought guests into our business during COVID because people were really bored at home. So people got good at Zoom during COVID. Before COVID, I can remember Skyping into New York. Do you remember that, Janet? She would have a big meeting, I'd be on Skype. So, things change and they evolve, and so do people. And what they're looking for now is a little bit different, but the fears don't change. So we want to eliminate people's fears. So people looking at the business first, can I do this? Will I have help? How much is it going to cost me? What if I fail? So all you have to let them know is you're going to be with them every step of the way. They don't have to worry about anything because you've got their back. And you have to tell them, I want to work with you and I've got your back. I will do everything I can do to make you be as successful as you want to be. And when people hear that, it gives them confidence and it eliminates those fears. And often they haven't even expressed those fears. And then somebody's new in the business. So they've been in the business a short time. And a lot of those same fears are there, like, who am I going to talk to? So again, the same thing is understanding most of the business people in your business will be people you don't know right now. We're building teams. We're going to put you on a team and you're going to be on a team, but I am never leaving you. I am by your side forever as long as you want to work. If you don't want to work, I will never bug you. I promise you I won't bug you. I may want to, but I will never bug you. But I want to make sure you wear the patches because I want you to have the health results. I tell people I believe I've helped more people in network marketing than I ever helped before in my nursing practice, because even though I taught students how to be good nurses, and even though I worked with patients at critical times in their lives, the numbers were so fewer than the people I've been able to touch through network marketing. I believe network marketing is such an elegant way to do business. And then as people are stronger, they've done business more, and then suddenly they're worried about balancing their income. What I loved about the super patch business is being a nurse and hearing the VTT technology, I loved it. I believed it was going to work from the minute I heard about it. I couldn't stop, even before I was involved, I couldn't stop thinking about these patches and the fact that there was no, because I sold supplements for so many years, there was no supplementation and there was no medication. So two things that I really feel that are the wave of the future, the fact that they're backed by the FDA and that Jay has the proprietary rights to these, so nobody else can have them. We have no competition. All network marketing companies, I want to say, I believe are wonderful and elegant, and I admire anybody who's ever been involved in any one of them, because I do believe they are an elegant way to do business, because you can't be successful if you don't help other people. So if you like people, you'll probably be good in network marketing, but it's normal to be afraid. So the reason I bring up this customer program is when your business is a bit bigger, you start to worry about, is my income going to be stable? Because I have one person who only buys maybe every 3 months and another person who buys every month usually, but sometimes they don't. And so you're kind of wondering about, who are my customers going to be? I just don't know that many people, and I'm not a salesperson, and I don't want to seem salesy to my friends and family. Jay has come up with a program that's being introduced that takes away all of those fears for that group of people, because it takes away what's called attrition. So attrition is the number of people who don't buy again. Things like that happen. People's lives happen. They get married, they move, they they go into different stages of their lives. You always have to be respectful of where they are in their life. But I believe network marketing can fit into anybody's life. And when I've traveled around the world, I have to be honest with you, every country I've been to, all the people I've worked with, pretty much, I mean, I've been fooled a few times, but pretty much they have the same thing. They all want to do what's best for them and their family. That's a universal thing. They want to be the best they can be for themselves and their family. A lot of people right now, because of inflation, one of my almost team leaders this month said she wants to do this for walk around money. She's retired. She's being a retired firefighter. She's doing all these things. She's a doctor. She's a chemist. She's had a full life, but she wants walking around money because she's facing inflation like so many other families and people today. So there's so many people that are going through so many things, that this kind of a business is so different, because when I say you're proactive, you're able to take freedom, the word freedom, to a whole new level. And being proactive really means having freedom for yourself, freedom to build what you want. You know, I had a wonderful mentor, and she was the one who taught me, You're getting rid of people's fears. You want no one to be fearful. You want them to attract people who aren't fearful. You want them to feel fearless. And I love that. But she taught me that you're not really free until you're financially free. And for a lot of people, just like Jan was saying, she wants to have something to leave to her grandson. And that's a different stage of life. I'm in that stage of life. I have grandchildren. I would like to be remembered for being something more than the mother who talked all the time. I want to be, have leave something for them. And I've always done this business for my family. I've always been very upfront about that. I did network marketing when they were babies, when they were little, when they were teenagers, I put them all through university, plus my husband's too. I had two great husbands, fabulous husbands. I was widowed twice. So I've done this as a single mom. I've helped my children buy their first homes. I have great mouthy children because I taught them to say what they really think, and now they do. And so I tell them, I wish sometimes they'd shut up. But that's part of being free. I want them to be free to speak. I want them, I want, and this mentor said to me, I want to call you, Kerry, and say, this weekend, let's get the team together and we'll all go to Cayman Islands and we'll have a weekend retreat. And we'll do it this weekend. And I want the people to think of, okay, this weekend, I got to find somebody to look after my dogs. I've got to find somebody to babysit the kids. I've got to figure out what I'm going to wear. I've got to start packing. I don't want anybody to think, can I afford to do that? How much would the plane cost? Would I have afford to go out be able to go out for meals if they were going out for meals? That's being totally free. And that's what network marketing can offer that being a nurse never could, because a nurse has a cap on her income. And for women, I've lived through those days when women had a cap on their income in almost everything they do. And network marketing removes that cap. And so when you're looking at removing people's fears and you're looking at what we have a product that really works. I'm so excited about it. We have people that really care. That's why they have this training. That's why we do training to help people feel comfortable. The first calls I was on, I just had my picture. I didn't talk. I just listened. But what attracted me was these people that were already on before me, who found this before me. I love the idea it's a global business. I had big businesses in countries where I knew absolutely no one before I started. But because we were open in those countries, and I was able to say to people, who do you know in Greece? Who do you know in Cyprus? I haven't been to Cyprus. Who do you know there? Who do you know in Italy? Who do you know in France? And we were able to build businesses there. And our job as leaders, and each of you will become whatever leader you want to be, our job is to help you do that, because you have to be able to think outside the box. One thing that network marketers do, I always believe that we march to the beat of a different drum. We think outside the box. If you've ever been in any sort of network marketing company, you already do that. If you have been in a network marketing company and you didn't reach the success you wanted to get to, you haven't been in this company with these people. If you've been in a network marketing company and you feel stuck, we will help you get unstuck. All the fears you have, we will help you remove. We won't bug you, but if you ask for our help, we will be right there helping you every step of the way. That's what we do. That's what network marketers do. That's the only way they can be successful. And our goal is to make each one of you successful.